Roughly 199 years ago, in 1819, the Supreme Court case of McCulloch versus Maryland occurred. 3 years before this case, the federal government instituted the second bank of the U.S. Then, in 1817, a branch of the bank was created in Baltimore, Maryland. 1 year after that, a tax was imposed in the state of Maryland on all banks not chartered by the legislature. Now let's take it over to Jacob.
Thanks, Khalil. So the Maryland government was upset because the National Bank of the United States refused to pay these taxes. Eventually, this issue was taken to state court, where it was ruled unconstitutional because it was not specifically stated in the Constitution. This upset James McCulloch, the head of the Baltimore branch of the bank, and he appealed it with the Supreme Court.
The General Assembly of Maryland hereby declares that the second bank of the United States is unconstitutional.
I truly dislike paying taxes for all the private banks in Maryland. I think the National Bank should be allowed and should have jurisdiction over all the banks of the state.
The National Bank should not interfere with the necessary taxes on our private banks.
Let's hear what the court has to say on this.
Our national bank is constitutional because we have had the first bank of the United States, which gives us something to learn from for the second bank of the United States. Also, people have the power to declare the bank unconstitutional, not the states.
Don't forget that the government has the power to do what is necessary for the nation according to the necessary and proper clause in the Constitution.
Correct, Mr. Webster. And the necessary and proper clause is not a limitation of Congress. We have come to a decision that that Maryland cannot tax the banks without violating the Constitution.
Yeah.
My voice good?
Okay. Well, in the end, this court decision is very important because it helped establish the balance between the state and federal powers of the U.S. government.
And now, a bonus weather report from Mr. Joey Davidson.
It was raining back then.